To say I spent a few minutes on the phone with this play this week would be an understatement, but it's a great play to learn from, and I'm not going to taint you with what I think of the play, because what I'd like for you to do is watch the play first in full speed just like I did, and then we'll have a few things to take away and talk about on this play. This is what you call a humdinger, and we're going to break this play down. We're going to talk about all the definitions that come into play here, the rule references that you need to officiate this play correctly. We're going to do all of that next. Welcome to this year's edition of the AAHSO Football Video Training Series. We're studying the National Federation of High School Football Rules and Five-Man Mechanics. This is our video training collection, sponsored by the Arkansas Association of High School Officials, the AAHSO, helping good officials get better. Our technical advisor for the rules is George Demetrio. Greg Downham is our line of scrimmage technical advisor. Senior technical advisor is Dax Hill. This video is produced by Matt Bivens. Executive producer is Walt Coleman. I'm your host, Todd Allen. The first thing that jumps out at me on this play is the hustle of the referee. Great position here getting over the pylon where you're able to officiate the goal line horizontally and the sideline vertically, and we do know this ball careens out of bounds after being deflected off of the receiving team player's foot, but had the sideline been in play, the referee is in great position mechanically to officiate this play, and that's what mechanics are. Mechanics are being in the right position to make a ruling about what happens on the field, and this is fantastic hustle and great mechanics by this referee. You can see he does signal for a safety on this play, and much to do about this with the state rule interpreters across the country, and what they basically just said is that this play was improperly officiated and should have been a touchback. And so let's go through that. What we need to do, the first thing I wanted to cover is that when the ball becomes dead in the end zone or it goes out of bounds from the end zone, it is always one of three things. It is always either a touchdown, a touchback, or a safety, and you can kind of go through those and figure it out. On this play, anytime the ball is dead in the end zone or goes out of the end zone and is not in player possession, it is not going to be a touchdown. So you can pretty quickly eliminate that. Now you're just stuck with the two, safety or touchback. And we've come down on both sides of this depending on which side of the argument you want to buy into. And so what I want to do today is talk about three definitions which I think are really important. The first one is the definition of a kick. The second one is the definition of force. And the third is a muff. And we'll go through these one by one. Let's start with the definition of kick, and we find that in 2.24.1. And a kick is simply the intentional striking of the ball with the knee, lower leg, or the foot. And so now let's go back and decide if this is a kick. And we'll look at this in slow motion. And we're talking about the defender here. After the punter fumbles the ball, and he's tackled simultaneously with that, he does become separated from the ball. And this fumble comes out of the end zone, which is important. And then it is deflected off of this receiving team player's lower leg or foot. I'm not sure exactly which one. But that is not a kick. And the referee here correctly rules on this, and we know it because he does not throw a flag. And had this ball been kicked, it would have been a foul because you can never kick a loose ball that's grounded. So the important thing, too, here about this play that I want to talk about is how important it is that you not mix up layman's terms with very technical terms, like the term or the definition of the word kick. And when I hear a referee in a serious rules discussion say he didn't intentionally kick the ball, that just doesn't make sense. Because if he kicked the ball, it had to be intentional. If it wasn't intentional, he didn't kick it. So in this play, this ball is not kicked. It is deflected off of the receiving team player's lower leg. Now we're trying to decide, because what gets us to either a safety or a touchback is what force puts the ball into the end zone. So the initial force is the backward pass or the snap by the kicking team. And the second force, because the punter gains possession of the ball, he picks it up and has it in his possession here. But then when he's hit, you see the ball is out, so now we have a fumble, which is a new force. Now the fumble, if you look, this ball is clearly out of the end zone. Some of the rules interpreters say that this deflection off of the leg is a new force. So to determine whether this is a safety or a touchback, we're going to have to determine if this meets the definition of a force. And what is the definition of force? And that is found in 2.13.1, which just says that a force is a result of an energy exerted by a player who provides movement of the ball. The term force is only used in connection with the goal line, and it's only in one direction, from the field of play into the end zone. Initial force results from a carry, fumble, pass, or a snap. After a fumble, kick, or backward pass has been grounded, a new force may result from a bat, an illegal kick, or a muff. So this is important language here. May tells you that not all things that happen after a fumble has been grounded are a new force. It gives you three specific things which can be a new force: a bat, an illegal kick, or a muff. If this player intentionally kicks this ball while it's loose, the receiving team player, then that would be a new force because it would be an illegal kick. But because he did not kick the ball, because the action's not intentional, it's not either a legal kick nor is it an illegal kick, because an illegal kick is also an intentional act. It's just done in conflict with the rules. Another example of an illegal kick would be a ball that was kicked beyond the neutral zone. But let's don't get too far into that. We just need to know that in this play, we do not have a bat, we do not have an illegal kick. So the only way this can be a new force is if it is a muff. And did this player muff the ball? To get to the definition of muff, we have to go into 2.27, which defines a muff as a touching of a loose ball by a player in an unsuccessful attempt to secure possession. This player does attempt to go after the ball. After it careens off of his foot into the end zone, he takes off and chases it. But his action, in my opinion, of the ball deflecting off of his foot is not his attempt to gain possession of the ball. I mean, the ball is right in front of him. He could have just fallen on it. So it's very obvious when you watch this, he didn't intentionally deflect the ball with his foot, and it's not part of his action attempting to unsuccessfully gain possession of the ball. So he didn't touch the ball as much as the ball touched him. Which this is all very, very important, because what you have to say to rule this as a touchback is that this is a muff. And I think the definition, when you look at every word and you apply it literally, it is not a muff, because the action of the ball touching his leg, and you can have two things going on at once, right? This player can be reaching with his hand in an attempt to gain possession of the ball. He's attempting to gain possession or secure possession with his hands, and then the ball is deflected off of his leg. That's two things that can happen at once, but they're not the same thing. They're two totally different things. So I do not believe that this play meets the definition of a muff. Without this being a muff, this is clearly a safety. How it's ruled on the field correctly by this crew, and the discussions afterwards are great for developing our understanding and knowledge of the rules, but doesn't change the results of the play. The other thing that I thought was very interesting is I asked this referee, what did the coaches say? What was the feel on the field? What was the feeling of the crowd? And there was absolutely no pushback at all. Everyone accepted that this was, in fact, a safety. It's a correct call. A great job of hustling. Great job of studying. Great job of sharing this with other people so we can all learn from maybe what's a 1 in a million play, but a fantastic play correctly officiated by this crew. I wish I had better video quality, but I don't. This is all I've got. I don't have an end zone shot either, but there's enough here to see. You're going to get the gist of this. The importance of always keeping all 22 players boxed in with the 5 officials can't be overstated enough. And you've got to be a great dead ball official. What I've always said, and you've heard it on these training videos 100 times, I'll bet you, that the difference between working on the guys working Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday, a lot of times it's the very little things, but being a great dead ball official is something that cannot be overemphasized. And then you'll see what happens when we transition too rapidly and don't clean a play up. Quarterback just drops straight back and throws a pylon pass here at the front pylon, and this is just highest guy to jump in the air is going to catch this ball. It's a jump ball, and the defender comes up to get it. But let me back up just a little bit here because I want you to look at this player right here. And as the ball, he sees that this is going to be intercepted. Now look at his head. He is turned upfield now, and he is head hunting the quarterback. And the defender just goes straight to the ground. There's no return here, but he's already full steam. And look at the players that he's passing. 1, 2, 3, and then just wipes out the quarterback in a dead ball interval, and we don't have a flag. Nobody sees it. And we can't see the referee in this shot, but we do see the center judge. This is a 6-man crew. And the center judge obviously is transitioning and thinking about getting ball mechanics and getting the ball in. And he has absolutely no idea that this happens. You can just tell by his look. He doesn't know that it's gone on. But the referee comes into the frame here, and you can see that he is concerned. He knows he missed something, but he doesn't know what it is, which tells me his eyes were down the field. He was helping downfield with the interception where we don't need him, and it's very easy on screen passes for the referee to transition once the quarterback gets clear. And I think in last week's training tape I talked about how line of scrimmage guys can backside of the play get a look at the quarterback. And for the line judge, which is at the bottom of the screen here, this is a good example of once you see this ball is intercepted, there's not really a block to pick up if you can rapidly pick up the quarterback here. But this is not on the line judge at all. This is on the referee, and this is on the center judge. You guys have got to clean up these plays and make sure there's no chance of mixing up any jerseys before you begin to transition into your dead ball mechanics. So, like I said, I wish I had better video here, but this is a nasty play. And we've talked to the school. We would have supported a disqualification for this. This is head hunting. There's no place for this in our game. When you pass up other players to engage that are closer to the ball carrier or the would-be ball carrier, we know he's already tackled here, but when you pass up people like this and get a full head of steam and just wipe a player out who's clearly out of the play, there's no place for this in our game at all. And we definitely would have supported a disqualification. Keep 22 guys boxed in with 5 officials, or in this case 6 officials. We've got to keep these players boxed in. We've got to be great dead ball officials. We cannot transition too early. Hi, Todd Allen. If you've been following this video series for any time at all, you know how much I rely on the Reading Study Guide, and I couldn't wait to dive into the rule changes, push through a reread on penalty enforcement, and walk through one of my favorite chapters, Chapter 6, The Kicking Game. The book, laid out in 12 easy-to-read chapters, takes the technical rules and breaks them down in fun chapters, complete with quiz questions and answers that will build your knowledge and challenge your application. Pick up the 2022 version of the Reading Study Guide for the NFHS rules. As a football official, when you're through learning, you're through. I am getting blasted because I'm out of time, but I want you to keep an eye on this player right here. This is something unusual. Look at this. He just spins, comes back around, and boom, hits that player as a blindside block. Also, possibly in the back. Definitely coming from chase mode. Give you one more look at it here. And this is just a nasty block. And I've got an end zone shot here, which is really clear video. The player here is the right guard, and this is him right here. And this is the key for the umpire, who is positioned right here in this backfield position, which I don't like, but you can see that's just his key that loops right around and opens right up to him. For this view, we can really see what he was looking at, or at least what he should have been looking at, and I think he's got a really good look at this play. The other person who might pick this up is actually the back judge, because the screen pass goes right in there and he might see this blindside block. Boy, that'd be a heck of a pickup, wouldn't it? For the back judge to get a blindside block on the umpire's key, just loops around here and makes this block. It's a nasty block. That is a no call for the umpire for a blindside block. And again, I don't like the position. I think if the umpire is on the other side, he gets this block. It's just right in front of him. But I do understand the safety aspects of it, and so does the NFL. So that play was actually sent in by another referee. John, thanks for sending that in. He just thought it was a great opportunity for others to see something really unusual as far as this inside blindside block, which also could have been a block in the back, because obviously the free blocking zone has disintegrated with the quarterback scrambling in shotgun formation. That's it for this week's training video. Preventive officiating is very important, but be a great dead ball official. ToddAllen65@gmail.com is my email address. If you have a question or comment or would like to send a play in for us review, we'd love to hear from you. For the Arkansas Association of High School Officials, this is Todd Allen saying I hope to see you on the field real soon.